Rediscovering Gita for the Modern World by Shrikant Soman. Based on essays on Gita by Sri Aurobindo. Chapter 7 continued. The Creed of the Aryan Fighter. Continued from the previous episode 60, The Folly of an Egoistic Heart. Why Arjuna's pity is not compassion. Current episode 61. The Twofold Answer, Krishna's initial foundation of truth. The first lesson of the Gita, the immortality of the soul. The wisdom of the Dhira, beyond grief and bodily appearance. Key takeaways. Krishna's twofold teaching strategy. The teacher's answer begins with a brief response based on existing Aryan philosophy, which then sets the stage for the deeper, more profound truths that follow. The soul, not the body, is the reality. The core of the initial teaching is that the soul is eternal, and the body's death is merely a temporary, insignificant event in the soul's long journey. The qualities of a wise person. Dhira. A wise person remains calm and unperturbed by emotions, seeing beyond the physical world to the true reality of the soul in all beings. The goal of human existence is immortality. Human life, repeated through cycles of birth and death, serves a higher purpose, a long progress of preparing the soul for immortality. A shift in perception. The prepared individual sees beyond physical appearances and learns to live in the soul, dealing with others not as bodies, but as fellow souls. Main passage. The answer of the teacher proceeds upon two different lines. First, a brief reply founded upon the highest ideas of the general Aryan culture in which Arjuna has been educated. Secondly, another and larger explanation which is founded on a more intimate knowledge. This opens into deeper truths of our being. This is the real starting point of the teaching of the Gita. Explanation of the first answer. The first answer relies on the philosophic and moral conceptions of the Vedantic philosophy. It rests on the social idea of duty and honor, which form the ethical basis of Aryan society. This is because Arjuna has sought to justify his refusal on ethical and rational grounds. But he has failed in it very miserably. He has merely tried to hide the revolt of his ignorant and unchastened emotions behind a facade of apparent rationality. He has spoken of the physical life and the death of the body as if these were the primary realities. Explanation of the second answer. These things have no essential value to the sage and the thinker. The wisdom and the true knowledge of life do not approve of the grief arising out of the bodily death of his friends and kindred. The enlightened man does not mourn either for the living or the dead. He knows that suffering and death are merely incidents in the history of the soul. The soul and not the body is the reality. All these kings of men in the shadow of death, for whom he mourns, have lived before the current life, and they will live again in the human body after getting killed in the war. The soul passes physically through childhood and youth and age. In a similar fashion, it passes on to the changing of the body. Qualities of wise man. The person matured with wisdom do not allow the clamor of his blood and his nerves in his heart to cloud his judgment or to contradict his knowledge. He is calm and of wise mind. He is Dhira, the thinker who looks upon life steadily and does not allow himself to be disturbed and blinded by his sensations and emotions. He is not deceived by material appearances. He looks beyond the apparent facts of the life of the body and senses to the real fact of his being. He rises beyond the emotional and physical desires of the ignorant nature to the true and only aim of the human existence. The real fact and the highest aim is this. The human life and death is repeated through the eons in the great cycles of the world. They are only a long progress by which the human being prepares and makes himself fit for immortality. The method of preparation and the characteristics of the man who is fit are: the man who rises above the conception of himself as a life and a body. The man who does not accept the material and sensational touches of the world at their own value, or at the value which the physical man attaches to them. The man who knows himself and all as souls. The man who learns himself to live in his soul and not in his body. The man who deals with other two as souls and not as mere physical beings.